welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome. You may have found me through the Not Too Shabby Stamp of the Month hop. This is the stamp for July, which is the Chill Day stamp, and we're going to make a project with it today. Um, and I think that this one, to me, really looks very clean and simple given the illustration style. So I was thinking we would do a pretty straightforward card, but one that really will allow the stamp to shine a bit. Anyway, so I started out with a standard A2 card base, and I just put an additional score line at 2.5 inches from the edge, basically so we can make an easel card out of it. And when I think of ice cream, I always remember having lime sherbet with my aunt, so I went with sort of a nice vibrant green. So basically this will mount on here, and that will create our easel. And we'll worry about a stop later. I'm probably going to use one of the sentiments. I just cut a 3/4 inch strip here, so we have it ready. And I then reached into the summer gingham paper pad and cut a piece 4 inches by 2 3/4, basically just stick on the back because if this thing is displayed, it's always nice to have something on the back of the card. So let us put most of this to the side and just work on our main panel. Let me just stick this in the MISTI here. And I really like this main focal image. And the interesting thing about this particular stamp and die set is the die will actually cut out all these little drips, and that's sometimes something I found can be kind of hard if you're just um, cutting it on a electronic cutting machine like a scan and cut or something, because it won't really see the edges and it's a little bit tricky. And I really like sort of this size of this stamp to be a focal piece for a panel like this one, so I am just going to line this up. And I think I want a sentiment on the front as well. Let's see, I think I'm going to use the Have a Chill Day on the inside. I think I'll just use the smile here. Well, yeah, I think I'll use the smile. I like kind of that, especially because the ice cream itself, or himself or herself, is smiling. So I think I'm just going to line it up like that. We'll pick it up on the door of my MISTI. Um, Let me just grab my chamois a little bit and see if we can't get any of the oils off from manufacturing, because hopefully this will allow us to get a really nice stamp. I'm using the Ink on 3 Blackout, which I found is really nice. It's very similar to Memento, so if you have Memento, that also works well. And I am just going to ink this guy up. And if you have a stamp pressure tool, you can use that. If not, you can just use your hand lightly. And we have a pretty good impression. Let's go a second time. I almost always find that, like with these pigment inks, it takes a couple inkings to really get things good and down. And there we go. I also find with a lot of the pigment inks, like, actually the S is a little light. Let's just redo that, and we'll redo the eyes as well. I find sometimes the eyes are always a little bit light, and you can always go in with, like, a gel pen to redo those. And actually, this looks perfect. I am actually using Express It for this particular stamp, and just because I'm going to be doing some coloring on it. But you could use whatever you would like. I'm going to be doing a little bit of blending with my alcohol ink markers. Basically, I'm going to do pink and green for the ice cream. I guess you can see it better this way. Just with, and then I pulled some brown for the cone. Going to let that guy dry to the side. I always try to make sure these are right way up. For this one, I think I'll just stamp with pigment ink because I'm probably not going to color or do anything on this. And that is perfect the first time around. I'm not sure exactly. I may trim that up a little bit and just clean off a MISTI. And I'll just fast forward this a little bit so that you can watch me color without having to sit here for several minutes. And we are back. You can see how this came out. I really like that. It actually came out a little more matcha green than like lime, so I'm not sure if it quite matches my original idea, but I do like it. I like it a lot. I like this sort of, these pale pink. I don't know, it almost gives me sort of like a Pusheen kind of like very, I don't know, Japanese vibe. So, the first thing I want to do is grab my tape and get this piece down. Now we have two options. There's a lighter green, which I actually think works better here, especially with sort of the muted tone here, or there's a darker green. I don't know. This is a great pad just because it has so many options, and I am a fan of gingham, and I don't know, for some reason gingham really reminds me of like ice cream parlors and things of that nature. I should also mention that this is a hashtag driven hop. So if you click on the hashtag in the description box or in the title of this video, you can go and see all of the other folks in the hop. Please visit all of them and leave a comment if you so choose. And then if you come back here, or really on any of the videos, you can go to the Rafflecopter link and you can enter to win a gift certificate from Not Too Shabby. This is my first month on their design team, so I was really excited because ice cream is really one of my favorite themes. I guess I should say summer everything is kind of one of my favorite themes, but ice cream in particular. There's a little something on this side, but I don't think it matters because I think we will put it that way though. So I'm just going to mat this guy up. And really the only other thing, see, I'm really liking how this looks. This looks really cheerful to me. Anyway, the only other thing we need to decide is if we want to do something for our stopper piece. So, probably the first thing I want to do is get this card attached, and then we can see where exactly we want to put things. I generally just go for the bottom here because you don't want to accidentally tape too much of the card down. And really, this is a fairly light panel, so it's not going to take a whole bunch of adhesive. So I just do that, and then basically you have your easel, and you're ready to go, and you can see how that looks from the back. I really like this detail on the back. And then what we can do is, I think I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I think I'm just going to trim it down to about where the sentiment is. Do that. Then I will grab a little bit of foam tape. We will see how much we need. And the answer is not a ton. We just grab some heavier duty scissors to cut this guy off. There we are. And then we can kind of play around with where we want this stopper. Basically, the farther back you have it, the more upright the card is, which I think looks really good for display. You probably want it about halfway. Just gonna flip it over and pull the paper off. And there we go. And you have a secret area you could write your message in. And this is basically how the card works. So it would just ship like this, totally flat. And then when the recipient pulls it back, it says, "Smile, have a chill day." And there we go. I'll just hold it this way so you can see how it looks a little bit more. But I don't know. I really like these style of cards, and don't see them a ton. But I think it really serves well to showcase like a big focal image stamp. So thanks for checking this out, and talk to you guys later.